Welcome back. Integrity in leadership is one of the main focus at the just concluded Mo Ibrahim Governance Week in Morocco. During the meeting, Channels Television News anchor Amarachi Obani had a chat with the president of Dangote Group, Mr. Aliko Dangote. He speaks to the subject matter using the case study of Nigeria.
Throughout the opening ceremony on Friday, we heard a lot about African leaders possessing, the qualities, right qualities of leadership, integrity, truthfulness, and so on. Do you think African leaders possess these qualities in order to lead the continent?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, it is great to be here, at Mo Ibrahim's Foundation Governance Week, and I think it's been great because first of all, there are quite a lot of people from the academia, from business, from governments, also from NGOs, which we have all gathered here, and I think it's really a great event. Going back to your question, I think the whole thing about leadership, asking whether we do have the leaders, yes, definitely we do have the leaders. We have the best brains, one of the best brains in Africa, but those people were not actually given the chance of taking up the leadership. Leadership is about trust, and if this trust is not there, it is really very difficult, for it to jive. Because for example today, when you talk about leadership, it's just not about winning election. It's about you delivering service to people, giving them good education, good health, making sure that you open up the economy where, there will be, jobs. Governments really, they don't create jobs, but they facilitate, and we do need to do quite a lot, even within us in Africa, if we are to create jobs. It's difficult even moving from one country to, another. And when you look at some countries, for example, they are too small to be a country on their own. And that's the reason why we have all these regional markets, which majority of them are not working.
Federal government just launched the Economic Recovery Growth Plan. And it's not the first time we've seen plans like this. There have been several of them. The problem, of course, has been implementation. Are you confident that this plan will work?
There are two things which I believe that we need to concentrate. Why is it that we have less industries compared to even where we were before? The reason being that we don't have electricity. Power is a major issue. And there's no way you can industrialize without electricity. So you need to really look at, okay, fine, how do we get that electricity working? And I think really the government needs to sit down with all these generating companies, with the distribution companies, and see, okay, fine, how do we get things working? By sorting out power, you are going to get all these medium, small industries. The small-scale industries are there. They are actually the engine of growth. It's not really a company like ours. Yes, we will do the massive one, but they will also, they are in big numbers. People will be employing 20, some will employ 30, but that is really how you get things together. This economic recovery plan will definitely, I think, work. The only thing that we need to be careful of is implementation.
Let's talk about patronizing made in Nigeria goods. President Muhammadu Buhari, of course, launched that campaign a few months ago, saying that Nigeria needs to begin to produce for itself and become self-sufficient. But there is also, the ongoing battle between manufacturers and importers. How do we solve that problem? How do we protect manufacturers so they're not stifled by the importers?
I said that when you import, you are actually importing poverty. And you are exporting jobs out. Because the jobs that you support, how do you create jobs? You create jobs based on manufacturing or agriculture or agro-allied industries by even just producing what you consume. Take for instance the issue of Nigeria. Why should Nigeria be importing almost 99.5% of the wheat that we consume. When we have very good arable land, we have water, the condition of growing wheat is right. So we should ask ourselves why. Why are we importing 95% of the sugar that we consume? We are going to be 210 million people in the next 3 years by 2020. So are we really ready to cater for 210 million people in the next 3 years? We need to be self-sufficient in all what we consume. So I think the government really needs to pay a lot of attention to manufacturing and de-emphasize about, importers. I know there's always that fight about importers, saying that you're not, you're stifling our own, business. You are not allowing this. You are putting restrictions. Well, the best thing to do is that they should grow those things locally.
Do you think it's a problem of political will?
Well, it's not the problem is that it's not only for you to go and make policies. You also have to now make sure that you go out there and convince people and make them to come and invest and facilitate, and make sure that, you also lead and push them to now going into this. If you just keep quiet, you make the policies without actually encouraging people. It is almost very difficult. Very difficult in the sense that sometimes people are going to start thinking about the past. I don't know, in the past, people who tried, they are not successful. But things have changed, and things are changing almost every day.
Aliko Dangote, President, Dangote Group. Now, the International Monetary Fund has concluded its Article 4 consultations with Kenya and held discussions on the second reviews under a precautionary standby arrangement and a standby credit facility. At the end of the visit, the board noted that Kenya's economy has continued to perform well, with real GDP growth reaching 5.9% in the first 3 quarters of 2016, up from 5.6% in 2015. According to IMF, growth was supported by public investment spending, favorable weather in the first half of 2016, and a pickup in tourism. And South Africa's new finance minister has pledged to do what he can to keep the country from a third credit downgrade to junk status, saying he would meet rating firms Moody's to persuade it he will stay on the path of fiscal discipline. Malusi Gigaba, who replaced Parvin Gordon in a cabinet reshuffle that triggered credit downgrades to sub-investment by S&P Global Ratings and Fitch, told local investors he would clarify the Treasury's policy positions to Moody's during an upcoming roadshow overseas. According to him, he will tell investors attending the International Monetary Fund meeting in the United States next week that the economy was showing signs of recovery and the government would not spend money it did not have, whatever the social pressures may be. And that's it on the program for today and, of course, for the week. Happy Easter to all of you.